Hey, this is actually a part three of a running blog, but anyways, um, so Fast Six. Where do I begin with Fast Six? Fast Six. I'm gonna be straight up. I'm not a huge fan of the Fast series. I mean, I don't hate them. Okay, don't think that I'm a hater because I actually do like the Fast movies. It's one of those series that I tune in once in a while, watch, get entertained, and then leave. It's not the kind of series that I'm just like on the edge of my seat, just waiting for updates for the next movie, or trying to read the backstories of like side characters. It's not a series that I'm that into. So um, when I heard about Fast Six, I mean, like Fast Five was alright, I guess. I already reviewed Fast Five, and man, I think, and I don't really remember what I said about the movie, but I'm pretty sure I mentioned that it was alright. So like for Fast Six, I'm gonna say it straight up. I think it's, I think I like this movie a little bit better, and I know I'm like amazed that I'm saying this right now because I'm like, this is the first Fast movie I've seen that actually got me like interested in the plot. Like usually I watch this movie just to watch like cars and see the heroes beat the bad guys, but this is the first time where I'm actually interested in seeing how all of this ties together, like how all the movies are leading to something. Like this is the first Fast movie that made me interested in the franchise, not just the movie I'm watching. So in general, the general review, like if you don't want to read my watch my in-depth review, general review, I like Fast Six more than any of the past Fast movies, and um, yeah, I mean like I thought it was a really good action movie. So that's my general review. You can stop it right there. Stop this video right here. But anyways, if you're still watching, in-depth review. I'm gonna start with the pros. I always like starting with the pros. Pros are, I have my notes here. It's actually suspenseful, and that shocked me because if you watch any of the other Fast movies, it's like it's one of those series where the characters are safe. Like there's this kind of thing where like you can kind of predict whether a series is going to consider killing off a main character or not. Like series like Game of Thrones, like you can't you no one is safe on that show. But franchises like Fast and Furious, it's kind of a safe bet that they're not going to kill off the main characters. There's too much money that they could make off these characters. So like they're not going to kill off Vin Diesel. They're not going to kill off Paul Walker. They're not going to kill off. They're not going to kill off The Rock. So it's like it's one of those series where it's you watch that and you kind of don't feel suspense because like the main characters aren't gonna die. This time around, there was actual suspense because like they raised the stakes. Like they introduced a villain that was like outsmarting them, outgunning them. It was just like they they introduced elements in this movie that was not really present in the past movie. Like this villain is this villain is like top tier. So for the first time, you honestly feel like these characters are in danger. And the movie does feel like that. Like the movie does feel like everyone is danger, that anything can happen. And amazingly, spoilers, amazingly that's kind of what happens at the end of the movie. Like the twist is one of the twists is that one of the girls working for the Rock's team, Gina Carano, she was actually a double agent. And I know that sounds like a stupid twist, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't see that coming, because I did not see that coming. Um, and what else? What happened? The Israeli model girl died. What's her name? I forgot her. I think it was Giselle. It was Han's girlfriend. And then she dies, and I didn't see that coming either. Like, like things happen in this movie that you honestly don't see coming. So it's like, yeah, I mean, there was actual suspense. That's a really good thing I could say about Fast Six. Other things I could say, there was a story. Like they act. This is this. There was action in this, but the thing I hate about like some action movies is some action movies tend to forget that there's a story, that they only focus on like making really good like action scenes. This movie remembers that there's a story and sticks to that story. And so all of the scenes in this movie don't feel like pointless chase scenes or pointless like gunfights or fight scenes is whatever. I don't really there wasn't really that many gunfights, but there were fights, so it doesn't feel like they don't feel like they're pointless. Like they feel like they belong in this movie. So and besides like remembering the story, it was a decent action movie, like in general. Like it was a popcorn movie. You go in and you see like this like action, and it's really good. The action. I admit there were some scenes that could have been filmed a little bit better. Like like I remember the scene where Michelle Rodriguez and Vin Diesel are racing in London. That could have been shot a little bit better because it was a little dark. But other than that, I mean, like the action scenes were pretty entertaining. Like I know people hated the runway scene, the finale runway scene with the plane, because it was like a long ass runway. You know what? Even though it's unrealistic, it was still pretty fun to watch. I mean, like if you can turn off your brain for just like a few seconds, it's fun to watch on screen. And I guess, like I said about the story, my final pro is that it ties in all six movies together. Like they said they're gonna go up to Fast and Furious 9, and I thought at first that was a stupid plan, but seeing this movie, I'm actually a little bit optimistic about what they're gonna do. Cause like spoilers, Jason Statham appears at the end of this movie, and the end of the movie is the part of Tokyo Drift when Han dies, and it turns out that Han's death was because of Jason Statham, and now it turns out he's the main villain, and you don't know who he is, but so it's like they're building him up to be the next main villain, so it's like I don't know, I don't know, like usually I roll my eyes at this, but you know what? I'm optimistic for the Fast and the Furious future. So those are my pros. Now, fortunately, I have to go into cons. Like, even though this was a good movie, there were some parts that I didn't like about it. Like, um, have here the first one. Ironically, is convoluted plot. Even though the plot was like one of my like points, like pro points, the plot did get a little convoluted. Like how Michelle Rodriguez survived and how like what else or how the chips figured in into all of this, and even the just the concept of like there's this higher criminal power, and like it's like the Illuminati there. It's like there there's like a crime syndicate that's controlling everything. It's for a series that's just about people driving cars. Like it gets kind of confusing, but it's really just nitpicking. My other my other like nitpicks. Some characters were just there. Like Han didn't really do anything in this movie. Um, the Israeli model actress, forgot her name. She was there to look pretty and die. And the was it Ludacris and Tyrese Gibbons? They didn't. They were just there for comic relief. I mean, this movie was just centered around Michelle Rodriguez, Vin Diesel, and Paul Walker. Like, you could cut out the other characters. Oh, and The Rock. Sorry. You can just have those four characters, and you'd still have a movie. It's like, I hate it when characters are just like there. So, and my other two cons, the action scenes. Some action scenes were kind of unrealistic. I could point out two scenes: the tank scene, and there There's another scene, but I don't remember. But I know the tank scene ranks high on my unrealisticness. It's like basically what happens is Vin Diesel is on one side of the bridge, and Michelle Rodriguez is on the other side. And I'm not gonna tell you how like they got there, but Michelle Rodriguez is about to fall off the bridge, and Vin Diesel like drives to the wall of on his bridge side of the bridge, and he like the force like shoots him, and he catches Michelle Rodriguez in midair, and they land on the bridge. I didn't really explain it well, but that's what happened. It's very I guess it could happen, but I don't know. It didn't look realistic, so it didn't feel realistic. So I don't know if that's really a nitpick or an actual complaint, but you know. Oh, and also my last con, the dialogue was kind of hokey. I mean, like seeing Ludacris as a tech expert and hearing lines from The Rock, like some of the cheesiest lines I've heard ever heard, like some of the most obvious lines, like one character tells The Rock, like, I only need five. Wait, no, the line was, you have 5 minutes to talk to him, and The Rock's like, I only need 2 minutes. It's those kind of cheesy lines that are kind of cringeworthy. But if I were to weigh the pros and cons that I listed, I think the pros actually outweigh the cons. I mean, I really enjoyed this movie. Like, it's not it's not perfect, but it's definitely not bad. So overall, I mean, I already said like Fast 6 is pretty good. So like, go watch it. Fast 6.